PNG Australia Ministerial Forum to discuss issues of concern. Another drunk driving accident, passengers mobbed and robbed. And more than 50 children undergo operations to correct deformities.
This is National EMTV News with Tokana Hasavi.
A very good evening to you and thanks for joining me for Sunday's news. Australia's Foreign Affairs Minister Julie Bishop is in the country to co-chair the annual Australia Papua New Guinea Ministerial Forum and Business Dialogue. The implementation of the regional resettlement arrangement is among some of the areas to be discussed during the forum. She will be accompanied by the Minister for Immigration and Border Protection, Scott Morrison, Minister for Defence, David Johnston, and Minister for Justice, Michael Keenan.
Australia's presence in Papua New Guinea is felt in various sectors. The Ministerial Forum reaffirms that commitment and looks at ways both countries can help each other. Australia's Foreign Affairs Minister Julie Bishop will co-chair the forum. She was expected to arrive this afternoon. The regional resettlement arrangement will be among the many key areas to be discussed during the forum. It is seen as part of the solution to Australia's boat people issue. Julie Bishop will also travel to the autonomous region of Bougainville to discuss the implementation of the Bougainville Peace Agreement and later on to Goroka to meet with civil society representatives and political leaders. Julie Bishop's arrival has drawn some resistance from within political circles despite a strong government support. Or Governor Gary Jufa has expressed his resentment at Australia's funding of a new processing centre. Mickey Cavera, National EMTV News.
Prime Minister Peter O'Neill has announced that the people of Western Province will now own 1/3 of the Oktedi mine. The National Executive Council gave the approval following consultations between landowners and the provincial governments.
There has been much debate on the ownership of the Oktedi mine in the Western Province, especially with the takeover of the mine by the government. The Prime Minister issued a statement today saying that the people of Western Province will have 33% ownership of the mine. He says this decision is fair and just and will be of great benefit to the people of Western Province following decades of neglect. A similar statement was also made by O'Neill regarding mining in the autonomous region of Bougainville. He said the people of Bougainville will have 35% ownership of any mining in the future. However, President Dr. John Mommis disagrees with the statement. Dr. Mommis says the idea of the national government operating mining in Bougainville is completely unacceptable. O'Neill, however, says the people have suffered for long and the transfer of ownership will go towards improving living standards of the people. Judith Kasek, National EMTV News.
More than 400 staff members from the Goroka General Hospital have threatened to walk off their jobs. They met on Thursday to discuss their grievances, which stem from the poor state of the hospital and district health services. Workers claim that the current health management had made no progress in improving services since the Eastern Highlands Health Authority was established. Papua New Guinea is synonymous with traditional music, but it is a practice that is slowly dying out as the country moves towards an era dominated by Western influence. The Yugoslav traditional group of Upper Arab in the Nawab district of Morambe province is arguably one group that is still keeping alive their kind of music. They use traditional instruments to create masterpieces. MTV's Edwin Fidelis has this story from Leh.
This is the sound of pure traditional music from one of the isolated part of Morambe province. The music they produce comes from a combination of instruments made from plants and animal skin.
Drums lo mibla yusim ol diway na mibla sapim mibla taitim lo lip skin lo kapul all instruments lo mibla sa yusim musim lo mampu lo paitim bass, drum, rhythm, keyboard and mogatas tabin sa lo mampu taso.
Yesterday, when they performed at the 2014 National Lutheran Youth Festival at the University of Technology, they became the crowd's favorite.
Something lo place that mibla yusim musim lo kundu na bilas lo buset mibla yusim mibla making style something.
They say traditional music and dances portrays the unique cultures of Papua New Guinea. And most importantly, they say it expresses human feelings that words can't explain.
This is something we make him more unique. Something where white man all use him.
This is one of the few times that South's traditional singing groups have come out from their remote area to perform publicly in town. There are many others all over the country that are not being exposed. The Yugosa singing group of Upper Arab in the Morobe province is not as popular as many other PNG musicians, but what makes them outstanding is their style of music and the instruments they use that is very Papua New Guinean. Edwin Fidelis, National EMTV News, Leh.
A truly unique dance group. And stay tuned, we'll bring you more news coming up after the break. Good to have you back with the news. About 75 babies born in PNG each year suffer from cleft lip and palate deformity. Medical experts said there is little awareness done to bring those living with deformed facial tissues to seek medical attention. Today, a partnership program between visiting doctors from the United States and Pacific International Hospital was launched, giving hope to people living with birth deformities.
This 7-year-old boy from Openga village, Daulo district in Eastern Highlands province, was born with a cleft lip. He underwent first operation in 2010, in which part of his lip was reconstructed. Today, his parents, Lex Negere and wife, brought him to Pacific International Hospital in Port Moresby to undergo second operation.
Doctor took him 50-50 chance. So people are going to put him effort now. Tintin bell, I'm now, I'm work good here.
And part of me playa, so mino can as a mama to mino na plus in this lapikinini.
There are 50 patients, including adults, who have been selected from provincial hospitals to undergo surgery. Buka Hospital pediatrician Matthias Tovilu traveled in with 5 patients from Buka. He said many people in rural areas are living with this deformity, but hospitals have little records of it.
Also, only carry more house sick so na time only phone pla record mo na kismo so line only carry more outside them na sabe.
A team of 8 volunteer medical experts from United States paid their own way to PNG to carry out operations.
It's our first time here in Papua New Guinea, and we've fallen in love with the people, the country, your hospitality, and we are hoping to plan to come back.
Cleft lip and cleft palate are facial malformations that develop during pregnancy. 3 patients have undergone surgery since midday. Quinton Alomp, National EMTV News.
Another car crash last night in Port Moresby. No deaths, but police have again raised concerns over drunk driving, especially during this time of festivities. Our EMTV crew were there minutes after the accident happened. This is what happened to a white Toyota sedan that bumped into a tree along the Waigani Drive at Garden Hills in Port Moresby. The Garden Hills community removed debris from the crash, flipped the car on its wheels and pushed it to the side of the road. Constable Tom Pali and his team from the NCD Enforcement Unit arrived at the scene after the accident.
There was 3 man stuff inside, 2 morobe, na 1 driver again.
The accident happened between 9:30 and 10 p.m. It caused traffic congestion that lasted almost an hour. Although there were no deaths, the passengers' bags were stolen. Witnesses say the driver ran away moments after the accident.
So almost pagigam na all spag no gudro. Tam all spagigam so no car parap no. All two all lose control na all desa tam mi car oboten.
A similar case of drink driving occurred in May last year within the same area. A man from the Central Province died after crashing into the brick wall of the overhead pass of the Waigani tunnels. Last night, in that same location, about 200 meters away from the Toyota sedan accident, lay another crashed Toyota 4-wheel drive. Its mechanics and wheels were removed and practically stripped of its functional parts. All these car accidents are further complicated by the increasing number of drivers that don't comply by simple traffic rules and the lack of road speed limits that indicate the required speed. More women and girls have fallen victim to petty crimes at the temporary Gordon's bus stop in Port Moresby. Yesterday, a Ward Strip student was stabbed in her thigh. Another young woman was knifed in her side after they both refused to hand over their bags to petty criminals.
Since the bus stop was relocated to Unagi Oval following the death of a police officer last month, complaints about petty crimes and traffic hazards have become a daily occurrence. The public, especially women, told EMTV News that despite police presence at the bus stop, they still feel unsafe when catching buses to or traveling out of Gordon's. This is Kylie Andrew. She was held at knife point yesterday on her way to church.
They showed a knife to me. They're trying to stab me on my side. And then I pull out my bag and I gave it to them and they took it and they ran away.
But petty crimes are not the only concern. There are also reports of women being verbally or physically assaulted at the bus stop and an increase in the number of attacks on public by opportunists.
And I think from here it's not very safe for us to catch bus here.
Talks are underway between the Traffic Department, NCDC and the police to separate the drop-off and pick-up points for the different routes. Tekla Gunga, National EMTV News.
And that's a take on our news segment tonight. We'll bring you all the sporting news coming up after the break. Stay tuned.
Trukai Sports.
Good to have you on Trukai Sports. In commemoration of the centenary anniversary of the Christmas truce of 1914, where German and British soldiers put aside their weapons to play football, the British High Commission organised small futsal matches between the different diplomatic missions in Port Moresby. High Commissions from New Zealand, Australia, the American Embassy and the United Nations were all present.
Countries playing in the national kits to celebrate international solidarity, friendship and peace through football. And while the rivalry was friendly, the games were intensely competitive. The British themselves showing the way, trashing hapless New Zealand 10-1 to open up the matches. Aaron Sexton, a professional player in fine form, scoring 7 of his team's goals.
Last goal at the end, obviously, for the Team New Zealand. It was a bit of a shock to the system, but yeah, they played really well. And obviously that Britishness, that English flair came out early in the game, I think.
Now, one of the things I noticed about yourself, you're pretty handy with a soccer ball.
I love my football, unfortunately. Yeah, play it all the time. Play for a team in PNG as well, play for FC POM this season, hopefully. So, yeah, I love the football, unfortunately.
New Zealand's Deputy High Commissioner, Nikki Stilwell, was also present.
10-1. What happened?
We were here to play a fun game and we're all come together today, so we're really proud of our one goal and unfortunately it wasn't really in our favour at the end of the game.
Members of FC Port Moresby were also invited to provide friendly competition to the other teams. Jeremy Moggy, National EMTV Sports.
After winning 7 gold, 6 silver and 15 bronze medals, Team Jiwaka is still unsure of where they stand on the medal tally for the 6th BSP PNG Games. Team official Augustine Polk told EMTV of his frustration. Godwin Eki reports.
Jiwaka Province was represented by 400+ athletes, including the officials at the 6th BSP PNG Games in Lae in November. They took part in 16 different sporting codes. Team Jiwaka's Augustine Polk said he is disappointed about the medal tally and their team's position after the 6th BSP PNG Games.
Main point true me like say belong position belong which province Mr. belong this position again up belong all no generalization yet na all organization belong all sports here also Ikarmavim that's all now said just let him go that's all. Now all not all sports almost I give him long give him full report na stadium long media. But when something me come up no media, he come up that's no let me go.
This is not the first time for this to happen in the PNG Games. In the PNG Games in Rabaul, there was also a similar dispute over the medal count.
Last time la Rabaul me play step long, I think 14th place or 16th, 17th place. So now me play thinking now come on top 10 na me play come. So now me play make him good blah. So we got about 7 gold, 6 silver, now 15 bronze, total of 28. Now this like appear long one long media. Now online organization or grassroots administration only come up on them good player reports.
Just a month after the PNG Games, the people of Jiwaka are still disappointed. Godwin Eki, National EMTV Sports.
Hundreds gathered yesterday at the Vabukori United Church to farewell PNG national volleyball coach Tommy Louis. Louis was an influential person who contributed immensely in developing volleyball talents in the country. He led the team to the 2013 Mini Pacific Games in Wallis and Futuna, winning gold, and also claimed 11 national volleyball titles.
It was a sad occasion for the national volleyball team, who were all in their uniforms to farewell their mentor, coach who has stood on their side through thick and thin. Louis was described as humble, courageous and God-fearing man. His success spoke for itself. He took Vabukori Amateur Volleyball Association to the National Volleyball Championships in Lae to retain their 11th title, the 2013 Mini Pacific Games, where PNG volleyball team won gold under his leadership. All these achievements were noted when he was awarded the 2013 SP Coach of the Year and was recently appointed as the National Volleyball Coach for the 2015 Pacific Games. He also played a leadership role in church as a deacon and a talented musician. 2015 Team PNG chef de mission Richard Kasman described Louis as a man with passion and a big heart to nurture and develop young talents. Kasman said his passing on has left a big gap to be filled. The VAVA president Turaho Morris said it is hard to accept the fact of his passing on.
It's very hard to accept, especially for the family. For the volleyball fraternity, certainly it's a huge vacuum. What magnifies that vacuum is the fact that we are just over 200 days away from the Pacific Games. And Tommy was an integral part of our preparations, particularly for the men's volleyball team.
PNG women's volleyball captain Josephine Dick said Louis was not only a coach but also plays a fatherly figure role to the team.
It's a great loss. Apart from the men's team, Coach Tommy has left behind a lot of memories for us on the volleyball court as well as off the court.
A guard of honor was formed as the players carried his casket to the volleyball courts to pay respect before laid him to rest. Louis died at the age of 51. He leaves behind wife Mabata Louis, 2 daughters and 1 grandchild. Rafaela Kaure, National EMTV Sports.
And that's all we have for you on True Kai Sports tonight. The weather details for the next 24 hours up next.
True Kai Sports. True Kai Sports.
Looking at the weather forecast for tomorrow and tonight and tomorrow, in southern region, Port Moresby to look forward to a shower or two, showers in Daro and Karama, fine weather in Popondetta and Alatau. In Momase, some showers expected in Lae City, showers for Wewak and Bunnymoor as well, and brief showers in Madang. In New Guinea Islands, fine weather expected in Kavang, Buka and Kokopo, Kimbe to look forward to showers. And in the Highlands region, all centres overnight showers. Forecast for small ships, waters of southern PNG Indonesian border through Torres Straits and Daro to Kiwai Island, through to Karama to Yule Island, Hood Point to Arama Coast to Samurai, Cape Vogel to Wasu Point, Finschhafen, Eastern and Western Milne Bay Islands, also Finschhafen including Vitia Strait, Siasi Island through to Long Island, New Britain and New Island, seas of 0.5 to 1.3 meters, and waters of Manus and its western group of islands, seas of 0.5 to 1.5 meters. And ocean forecast for PNG areas: Coral Sea, sea slight to moderate with northwest winds at 10 to 20 knots. Solomon Seas, sea slight with northeasterly winds at 10 to 15 knots. Bismarck Sea, sea slight to moderate with northwest winds at 10 to 20 knots. And lastly, Pacific Ocean, sea slight with northeast to southeast winds at 10 to 15 knots. And that's been the news, sports and weather tonight. On behalf of the news crew, I'm Tokana Hasavi. Thanks for your company. You take care and stay safe. Good night.